Thank you for joining me for this accident benefits overview. This is a very general overview of the accident benefits system. Please do not rely on this for specific questions. If you have specific questions about your situation, please speak with the lawyer. This is basically meant for somebody who's had the unfortunate occasion to be involved in an accident and is now looking for a bit of a bird's eye view of all of this stuff. So the easiest introduction that I usually give to people is to say that Ontario tried to simplify their system a little bit a while back, where they said, you know what, we've got to make sure that people who are injured in accidents get immediate help with some of the things that they need, and they don't have to sue for it. They don't have to prove who's at fault, whether they're at fault, whether the other person's at fault, with some limited exceptions. People are going to get the benefits that are payable under their insurance policy either way. And it's immediate, so you don't have to wait 2 years to get those benefits. The idea being to let everybody get the benefits they need, the insurance companies sort it out behind the scenes later on. So part one is the accident benefit system, where you can get access to those benefits. Part two is a lawsuit. Lawsuits covered in a separate video. With respect to the accident benefits system, all of that starts with an application for accident benefits, and that's a form that needs to be submitted typically within 30 days of the accident, although with a reasonable excuse, it can be provided further on from that as well. The accident benefits that you have available to you under your policy are very much defined by the policy now. The Ontario government has stipulated the minimum policy that people can have, but some people do purchase optional insurance. And if you purchased optional insurance, then you've got to look to your coverage to see what you might have available. Under the minimum accident benefit system, which I've learned over 18 years is what 99% of the people in Ontario have, because of course, much like everyone else, they call up their insurance company or their broker and they say, give me the cheapest insurance you can give me to put my car on the road. And so in those circumstances, people have the minimum Ontario policy. And that policy provides for typically 3 levels of pretty standard benefits. The first category of benefits is minor injury guideline. That's for strains, sprains, bumps, bruises, more minor injuries where the government thinks that you can go through a framework of treatment, and most of the people are going to get better with that framework of treatment. And so the medical and rehabilitation available under that is $3,500. And you can get that sort of treatment, you can get that sort of help, and the vast majority of people get better. The second category of benefits is what I call the regular category, or non-minor. Those are for more serious injuries, so things like broken bones, complete tears of a muscle, head injuries, concussions, significant psychological injuries, etc. And that you typically have up to $65,000 worth of medical rehabilitation and attending care coverage for a maximum of 5 years from the date of the accident. One point to remember is that for children, that can be very different. The timeline differs. It's an extended period of time. The third category is something called catastrophic injury. Those are the most serious injuries that can occur to someone, and they are set out in a specified list, as well as under certain tests and formulas that can be applied to someone's specific situation. In those circumstances, people are entitled to far higher level of benefits, as well as different types of benefits. If you have questions about whether you are entitled to benefits under one of those categories, please speak with a lawyer about your individual situation. It's also important to note that someone can start in one benefit category and move to a different benefit category over time. The next thing that I was going to talk about were types of benefits, and you can see that on the screen hopefully as well. Weekly benefits are things that can be payable to you every week. Income replacement benefits are available if you were working, or in some circumstances, if you were working not too long before the accident. And that can cover you for a percentage of your income loss. It's usually up to 70% of your income prior to the accident, to a maximum of $400 a week, unless you purchased optional insurance. That can also be reduced sometimes by other benefits that you have available, such as long-term, short-term disability, etc. If you were not working and you don't qualify for income replacement, you can qualify for something called non-earner benefit if you have injuries that have a significant impact on your life. Now, that is something that is analyzed based on a pretty complicated legal test, but if you've got a significant impact on your life, you should look into it and perhaps seek some advice about whether you are entitled to those benefits. Medical and rehabilitation benefits, those are the ones that we talked about before under the 3 benefit categories. And if you're in the minor injury, it's $3,500. The regular category, for the most part, it's $65,000 for the 5 years. Catastrophic is far higher levels. For medical and rehabilitation benefits, you apply for those by having a treatment provider usually send in an application for benefits that the insurance company then either approves, denies, or sends on for an opinion in writing or for an in-person medical examination to determine if it is something that they should pay for. Attendant care benefits are benefits to provide for your personal care, whether it's assistance with dressing, with activities of daily living, etc. Housekeeping benefits are something that used to be available. Under today's policies, they're generally only available for people who are catastrophically injured under the accident benefit schedule. So those typically are not something you can claim for under the minor or regular accident categories. Death and funeral benefits are available if, unfortunately, someone passed away as a result of the accident. If the insurer says no to one of these benefits, or if you're not entitled to one of the benefits because of your benefit category, you have the ability to claim them as part of that part 2 we talked about, the lawsuit against the at-fault driver. And that is something that you are entitled to put forward and seek reimbursement on. If there's just a denial by your insurance company of whether treatment is reasonable or necessary, etc., or whether you're entitled to a benefit, you can also pursue those through the accident benefit system by applying to the License Appeal Tribunal, and that typically has to be done within 2 years from the date of the accident. And that application can be filled out on a form, a License Appeal Tribunal application form, and you then go for a pre-hearing conference with a member of the insurance company as well as a License Appeal Tribunal administrator who will try and see whether you're able to agree on a resolution for the case. And if you're not, they'll schedule it for an adjudication, kind of like an arbitration. And at that point, you will have it decided by the tribunal whether or not you're entitled to the benefit. So that's kind of a high level discussion of how this system works. I encourage you to speak to a lawyer to get specific advice for any particular questions or issues that you have. Thank you for taking the time, and I hope that this was helpful.